y'all. You may be getting tired of seeing a lot of corn debris in these videos, but it seems like everybody in Hanover County must have planted corn this summer. But we're getting close to the time when replanting is getting ready to take place. I'll be back in the woods, and so I'm going to use these fields while I can. Maybe we'll see some green today, pull up a button or two. I hope so. Thanks for joining me. We're going to have a good time digging Civil War relics today. I'm the Battlefield Walker. All right, I'm kind of afraid to say it, but the first signal of the day does sound like a button. All right, it's out of the hole. So let's see if we can find some green, baby. All right, it's just like a box of Cracker Jacks. Something's inside here. Getting smaller and smaller. Look. Look at that first signal of the day. Come on. Got a shank on the back. Eagle button. Man, it doesn't get better than that. My sister was watching one of these videos and she said, I had mentioned that, I said, wouldn't it be cool to know what exact day the Civil War soldier lost this? And my sister commented on the video and she said, what I'd like to know is when the last time he buttoned this button, were his hands shaking? Did he think that today would be his last day on Earth? The last time he buttoned this button. And was it? Yeah, you're right. That's one of those signals that could be a bullet, but it also could be brass. I think I just touched it. Either that or I knocked it out of the hole already. Yep, already picked it up. Where is it? No, just I see green roundness, but I'm pretty sure that's not a button. Could be a poncho grommet, but I'd say probably a tent grommet. Still a good find. Nope, I don't like that one. I don't think I do. That signal sounds good. Yeah, it sounds really good. Let's see what we got. I'm trying out some knee pads today. I've never worn knee pads relic hunting before. I'm 62 years old and seems like a good idea to me. That looks like a modern bullet to me, but it may not be. Hard to tell. Last time I hunted, it was my Halloween edition of the famous night hunt. In my last video, I hunted from 11:30 at night till 6 a.m. the next morning, and it was creepy. I'm getting the feeling of brass, and then the very next second it'll be sounding like iron. We had that happen in a previous video. We were getting both brass and iron signals, or lead and iron signals. And if you remember, we came up with a hole that contained 2 cartridge box buckles and 4 bullets and 3 percussion caps. So in that hole was brass, lead, and iron. So that's kind of taught me to dig those signals. All right, so there's the first buck of the day. Care to guess what this is? A buck. I'm gonna dig that signal, even though it's iron, definitely iron. But it's just such a big signal. I'm just curious, and I want to see what it is. Is that it right there? Yep, a bolt. I knew it was iron. So trust your instincts. I think that's either brass or camp lead. I don't think it's a bullet. Signal changed. Yeah, that sounds worse the deeper I go, so I'm going to trust my instincts on this one. All right, that sounds like a bullet right there. Let's see if we get our first Civil War bullet of the day here. Now it sounds more like a button. It's funny how you just knock some of the surface debris aside and the signal seems to change. But that started out sounding like a bullet, and now it sounds like a button. Looks like a button back. Doesn't look like it has a face on it, but I certainly see green. I bet you do too. Oh wait, that's a button face. Okay, that's definitely a military button. I can see remnants of the gold gilt. So I'm going to leave that puppy alone until I can clean it safely. Cover up your holes. Don't leave trash. Don't make yourself a nuisance by being a jerk. I kind of like these knee pads. They do make you sweat more. Well, 69 caliber round ball. That sounds like brass to me. All right, what is it? Uh-oh. What is that? Another rivet? No, it's a button. A little cuff-size eagle button hiding in the dirt. How sweet it is. What a nice little surprise. I love it when I call it right. When I started relic hunting, you didn't have numbers, you didn't have digital anything. It was all analog. I started on a modified GI mine detector that my dad had, and then we went to a Metrotech. And then even when I got into the 21st century, I still bought a Tesoro Tahan, which is what we call a beep and dig machine. It doesn't give you numbers and suggestions and all that stuff. So I go by sound, and that sounds like brass to me. So again, let's see if I get it right. Somewhere close by. Oh, look at that. It's brass, all right, but it's a 22 shell casing. Got a pretty good signal here. I'm not totally confident in it. Yeah, definitely out, and it sounds like a big signal now. Oh, it's a bullet. I can see it. Can you? Right there. All right, there's our first Union 3-ringer of the day. I once found a hut site that contained 238 bullets in one hole, and they were in the bottom of a wooden nail keg. But I'll feature that in the end of one of my videos. That's one of my most memorable days I ever had relic hunting. Well, that was pretty shallow. No, it's a little piece of brass. A little pin of some kind. Good signal. Sounds like a bullet. I'm pretty sure I see it. Right there. There you go. That feels like a carbine bullet, and that's what it is. That's a 54 caliber Sharps carbine, usually carried by the cavalry. Okay guys, I just pulled a clod out of the ground, and if you are a subscriber of mine, you know what I see. See that green right there? Oh yeah. Come on, baby. There you go. That looks like a cuff-sized or a vest-sized eagle button. It's been laying here waiting for you and me to find it for about 150 years. Oh yes. Man, you know what I see. I see green. So that's either the edge of a button or the edge of a coin. It's looking like a coin. So that's a coin for sure. I hope it dates to the Civil War or before. Civil War soldier left me a gift long time ago. There it is. Looks like a 69 caliber round ball. What do you think? Indeed it is. Hello, little guy. It's got a shank on it, and that face has been gone a long time. Well, well, well. What have we here? Oh my, it's not there. That's just the green left over. Okay, where is it then? Ha-ha. Right there. I think it is a shotgun shell. Ah, you can't win them all. All right, I think we got a bullet here. Looks like a round ball at first glance. Oh, look at that. Amazing. This stuff is still here from a Civil War battle that took place over 150 years ago. Wow. Very crude ammunition. A couple of years later in the war, everybody had rifled muskets. At least on the northern side they did. Something in the hole right there sounded like a bullet to me, but now I'm not so sure. Still there. Bullet. Looks like a 69 round ball, doesn't it? Yes, sir. Some of you have asked me how deep, average deep, am I digging bullets. I'm at about 9 or 10 inches from the surface. What in the world am I hitting? Oh man, if that's glass, we sure need to figure out what that is, because glass is a sign of a trash pit or a hut site or something. And that's not my target, obviously, because it's glass. I want to see what that is, and I don't want to break it. Okay. All right. That could be an inkwell. If that's an inkwell, this could be a very good sign. I have dug what appears to be the remains of a Civil War era inkwell. Beautiful blue color. Definitely hand blown. There's the bottom. All right, so this is our hole so far. And out of that hole has come pieces of an inkwell, 7 round balls, and the accompanying bucks and a rivet. I don't have any signals in the big hole, but I got a strong signal in the little hole right beside it. So I am not giving up on any of this. What is it? Little piece of unidentifiable iron. Well, I've dug this hole out even deeper than I thought I needed to. Got 7 round balls, cartridge box rivet with leather still on it, and a broken inkwell. I'm convinced that was a lost or discarded cartridge box with 7 rounds still in it. So I just finished filling in that giant hole I made. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Hello, stranger. I see green. Pretty sure we got a button. Now, what kind of button is it? I'm guessing that's an eagle button, but we'll see when we get home. Oh, I think that's a buck. Yeah, that fooled me. Alright, let's see if it's still in there. There it is. I see a round ball. We ought to be able to dig this with our hands. The ground is so soft from the rain. See that little piece of white right there? Piece of camp lead. That's why it didn't sound like a bullet. It sounded more like a button, because it's a whole lot less lead than a whole bullet. There he is. Looks like a bullet of some kind. There she is. Dropped 3-ring Union bullet. I have not found a great variety of stuff here, but what I love about this particular farm is that you don't have to go a long ways without finding a target. It's very regular. Uh-oh, look what I see. And the thing about this farm is, even though the targets aren't usually a lot of variety, there are buttons, and in my book, a button is a great find. I love it. I want to show you something found a few years ago that's got a little bit of a story attached to it. Across the road from the Cold Harbor National Battlefield Park, it's well known that there was a small Confederate fort there. It's also well known that there was a telegraph line that ran from that fort back to Richmond. In fact, on some Civil War maps, that road is called the Telegraph Road. I was relic hunting a trench close by there, and as I was digging a target, I came across a very rare piece of Civil War glass. It was this. This is a Confederate insulator. They call it a top hat style. Pretty obvious why. The top of it looks like a top hat. But this was a strictly Confederate design. I showed it to my buddy, and he went bananas over it. I didn't know what it was. I mean, I knew it was an insulator, but I didn't know there was anything special about it. He told me what a great find it was, and I put it online and asked for any information anybody could give me. And all of a sudden, man, things just lit up. People were writing me, telling me what a great find it was, and how it was such a shame that this beautiful insulator was broken in two. The whole backside is just gone. It's a half of an insulator. And yes, I went back and tried to find the other half, and I never did. If this insulator had been complete, it would have been a $2,000 piece. One guy wrote me and he said, "Are you interested in selling the insulator?" I said, "You're aware that it's broken in half, right?" And he said, "Yeah, I know." And I said, "Well, I don't think so. I don't sell my relics." But I said, "I don't think I'm interested in selling it, but just out of curiosity, what would you offer me for it?" And he said, "I'd give you $250. I'm not a glass collector, but I know when it comes to glass, condition is everything. And this thing is only half of an insulator." I said, "Why would you pay me $250 for a glass insulator that's broken clean in two?" He said, "I'm an insulator collector, and one of the holy grails is a Confederate top hat telegraph wire insulator." And he said, "I'll never be able to own one because I can't justify spending $2,000. He said, "But I'd love to have an example of one in my collection. I would gladly buy your half an insulator just to have one in my collection. It would be worth $250 to me to own it." I thought that was such a great answer. And it kind of shows how you never know what the value of something is. Several weeks ago, let me put this away before I drop it and shatter it. A few weeks ago, I showed you a couple of bricks that I have in my collection, one from the original foundation of Gaines Mill and one from Libby Prison. And I said, those two bricks probably have basically no monetary value, but they're special to me because I know what they witnessed in the Civil War. This is kind of the opposite. Intuitively, you wouldn't think that a broken half an insulator would bring anything. But because this guy wanted an example in his collection, he was willing to make a pretty handsome offer. So you just never know. I want to give my appreciation to those of you who have subscribed to my channel or maybe liked one of the videos. If you haven't done that yet, I hope that you will. We're going to go relic hunting again soon. I'm the Battlefield Walker. Be good and say your prayers.